Hope everybody's out enjoying themselves. This is about Lynnette Preston and Jeremy Hales plus. What I mean by plus is other things have happened since I posted this. I know a lot of people don't care or took some of it wrong on what I said. One thing I said was I did not really hate Jeremy. Hate's a bad word to me, but most of what he is doing, I disagree with. People can disagree and not hate. It may sometimes be on the fringe what people do is hate, but you can just disagree. People on here get upset if you don't agree with them 100%. Things I disagree about what's come up is his attitude towards that family. I mean, you can dislike somebody, ignore them. If you are not ignoring them, and they're doing you no harm, but if you are not ignoring them, obviously there's other reasons why you're doing that. That doesn't mean you have to hate the guy out there but just be careful of what's going on and what you're looking at. A good example is that last night when it come out, and it's by an expert, the number one handwriting expert in the world. Yes, he's lost cases or been not been able to testify, which all them type of people that happens to quite often. But where he's the best in the world, and he undoubtedly said, and I'm not saying Jeremy did, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not accusing him of it, but I'm telling you what this guy said, that Jeremy is the one that wrote the sign. People, because this other group of people give him people's different signatures, not just one, several people in that town's signature to look at. And I take it, and it could be wrong, but I take it the way it comes out. Jeremy only gave Lynnette's handwriting to him. He may have given more, but that's all that's come out. So when you have a expert, number one expert, say something like that, you have to wonder. You have to keep your eyes open. No, this ain't the end of it, and it shouldn't be the end of it. You have to really think hard of what you're doing out there. And you're not going to agree with everybody 100% of the time. Don't get me wrong. It's just not going to happen. But what is evidence. He's willing to put that up in court that it was Jeremy. You don't have to agree with it, but that's what he come up with. And it ain't for me to decide. Personally, I have an opinion, but it ain't for me to decide whether or not he's right. That will eventually be done in court, where it should be. But I grew up in a big family, and we never acted like that towards anybody. He should be happy they're putting a fence up. He should be overjoyed that the fence is going up. If he's not, and some people say he's not, then what is the alternative motive not to? Not an excuse, but look at the whole picture. It's kind of eerie feeling when you look at it that way. Is it because of the cameras he can't see as good? Or with the lawyer he can go in And by the way, that lawyer wouldn't be Bruce that would do this. Have to go in and make sure the cameras aren't higher than what the law says and all that stuff, which each state is different. So if you live in another state like I do, don't assume how big, tall, or low, excuse me, how high or low they can be, because you don't live in that state. And like I said, I don't either. So that is a law for that state, not your state. But if he tries stuff like that and it's against the law, they'll go after him. They're not putting up with some of the stuff he's been doing. Period. Whether he likes it or not, they're going to start going after him as he has gone after them. And yes, he has gone after them. There is no reason to bother them to at all. I'm not saying I'd be happy living by him whatsoever. It has nothing to do with that because I wouldn't want to live by either one of them personally. Not out of hate, out of just the way they are. I'd just soon stay away from them. And I take it most of that town does. They just stay away, both of them, and everything's fine. The only one that's really not fine with is somebody stirring up the pot all the time, which is not necessary. You don't need to be out there stirring up the pot. When you look at the overall picture, just not what this person says or this person says, look at the whole picture of what's going on. Like I said, the fence, going after that child, and all them reports all have been false. In my state, you've started getting a lot of them. They would be going after you for filing a false report. You can't do that. And you can't go after somebody's records like they do. And anybody, I don't care what side you're on, that should not happen. What I mean by that, if you're looking into something and giving something out that is true, yeah, you're going to have to look. But just doing it for out of spite is wrong. If you're doing it to make sure your story is right, that is good. In other words, even Guapo, what he was convicted for was dumb stuff. I mean, and they make him out to be this big felon. He's not. But that's for content. And it's obviously for content. Whether you like this guy or not, you have to admit stuff like this is for content. Like these hurricanes, the past and future, I hope nobody loses their property, or I hope nobody gets hurt. Whether I dislike a person or not, I don't want their property hurt. I pray for every one of them. I have a sister that lives in Hastings. I got another sister lives in Newport News, Virginia. I got a couple of nieces that live within a couple of, I'd say, maybe 10 minutes from where that last incident in the school in Georgia took place. So, yeah, even I worry about them too. I worry about that stuff. The only reason I mention this is to show you that what I am doing isn't hate for people. It is them doing the wrong thing. And he is. I mean, And he hates controversy if you don't agree with him. That's another thing that's bad. Don't be afraid of somebody with a different opinion. Don't start threatening them you're going to sue them and all this because they don't believe what you did. That's like this Olight deal. Olight had every right to cancel him. Even though he says now Olight ain't no good or nothing. The only reason why he's saying that is they dumped him. And I understand why. You have to take the blame. You can't sit there and throw a light around like that. That company that has that, manufacturing company that has that, is going to be very offended because that was an intimidating move you did. And they had every right to shut you down from being their sponsor. And no, you were out there bragging about how good it was until that point. That tells you right there that maybe you're just upset. Take the responsibility. That was your fault. The way you acted at that garage sale or auction was your fault. Not Guapo's, not anybody else's. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be annoyed at Guapo, but this case, he was 100% wrong, and you failed to admit it. You want everybody else to admit when they're wrong, but you seem not to be able to do that yourself, and that's wrong. You know, like I said, I don't have to hate Jeremy. I don't have to hate him at all. I dislike, earlier I said I dislike what he was doing, and that means I dislike what he's doing. And if I was there, whether I like Lynnette and John or not, I would be there helping them by actions, not words. I used to have a neighbor, she'd always snoop in your yard and look inside your trailer because it was a trailer, and she would look and snoop, and everybody there. It was an older lady. I couldn't stand that lady, but when her house roof started to leak, and this was by action, not by words, I got up there when it dried and I resealed her roof because it was the right thing to do, not because I liked her. And throwing Lynnette under the bus, just, or that girl, I should say, throwing Lynnette under the bus, going after that girl, you're really going after that girl to hurt Lynnette. That means you're using a child for your own purpose. Those people that walked on that property may had good intentions, but still what they did only hurt that child in the long run. And that was another interesting thing with that trailer. I don't know the guy. I ain't going to accuse him of doing a bunch of stuff wrong, but he did have a domestic violence, and they had already taken his guns themselves, the people there, no one else. He was threatening if they give the guns back, he wasn't going to go after them. What a stupid thing to say. You got domestic violence, and you're admitting you have guns on your property or your possession. How stupid is that? And no, Jeremy wasn't directly involved with that. He wasn't even there. So could he have been involved in organizing that? And with the pictures that come across them trying to do a emergency order on the records to get them for that child, guess what? Them pictures they took there showed up there. Somebody organized that. They just didn't show up. That lawyer there would have never seen them pictures unless she was not coordinating with somebody else in Otter Creek. or the area. Somebody had to send them the pictures. And it's a no-brainer that's what happened. It's a no-brainer. That means somebody's working with that lawyer directly or indirectly. But I mean, once again, it's a state thing. If you would have did that in that state, you would have had the right to, if you had a court order to get that trailer, you would have never had the right to film that private property without their permission. And this crap, well, we're here now. We can take pictures of anything we can see. That's not how it works. And another thing that happens, I'll go back to it a little bit, I kind of skipped over it, and that is you people out there pointing the fingers about all these criminals out there, and the ones doing it are the ones with the record. And a lot of them that are getting point fingers at saying they're got a record, and they say, bring it on. Prove I got a record. I'll show you I don't. And that's been happening a lot. There's a couple out there that admits they've had a drug addiction, which they don't anymore. And they make this couple of these guys look like they're really bad. And that's wrong. Another guy that Jeremy has gone after, and I understand that there may be things going on with this one that neither one likes each other and they have a problem with each other. But he goes after him and tries to put him down, call him names and everything else. Even if he does something good, it don't matter. He's going to be brought down. Now, a certain situation happened that another person, still in this minion group, for lack of better words, calling this other guy a peeping Tom, which was BS because it was done in a town hall meeting. Now, and I think I know what's going on there, and he needs to watch really, really close here because I think with them doing what they did, they're trying to associate with a member of his family that'll be out of jail that he's the same as him. That's a bunch of crock, and that shows you how worthless a person can be. There is no sense in going after this guy. He's not messing with it. The only thing TC does is go out there and put these videos out and that. You don't have to disagree with him. He could say, I'm sure over the years, he even maybe yesterday said stupid stuff, which we all do. Don't get me wrong. Every one of us do this. But he's doing nothing. What really set it off, because I was watching Jeremy quite a bit, is Jeremy was always hollering and criticizing about this boat in town and that. And when TC went out and removed that boat, everything got worse for TC. Now, politically, I wouldn't have the same opinion as TC. I do like it, like I've said before. I love his videos when it comes to working on vehicles, cleaning up. I grew up on a ranch, so that stuff is good. And I like that. I like that what he does. Like I said, politically, we're probably not even close. Our ideals probably not even close. Because I know he was back to the guys that are not there now. But, and this is a big but, personally, if I was there, whether I liked them or not, either one of them two, I could be having conversations with him and all that. But if I was there in town, I would not vote for either one of them for city council because they're just not fit for it. Get people in there that are. Whether I like them or not has nothing to do with it, whether I'd vote for them or not. Yes, I would. If I ran for city council, anybody that voted for me is not very smart. Not because I do wrong. You just need somebody in there with a halfway background to know what they're doing. I wouldn't know a damn thing of what I was doing. So he gets on TC for no reason, just because he said stupid things in the past before he got there or just after he got there. Once again, though, you got to keep bringing these people up because your content is not good unless you have an enemy. And that's true. If you're out there trying to make a lot of money in content, I don't care whether it's on here or anywhere else. If you don't commit to going out and causing controversy, you'll never make a lot of money. You think that, like, even though it's fake, okay, the WWE, if you think everybody went out there, shook their hands, and went to their own corners, they'd get a very good audience. No, they get the majority of their audience because of controversy. Whether it's planned or not, and in this case it's planned, without that controversy, their sales go down. If you do not have controversy in Otter Creek, viewership will go down. A good example is a person said he needed, Jeremy was talking to him, needed to start controversy with his neighbors because it made good content. Exactly what he said. I didn't say that, he did. So, like I said, it's not about Jeremy, it's about Jeremy's actions he's taken. They're despicable because when you just sit back and logically think about it, why wouldn't you want the fence, like I said? Why do you follow them around all the time? You see them, you'll start following them. That is just stupid. They're not bothering you. You're trying to make it look like they're bothering you, and they're not. And I do think eventually that Ohio Protection Order is going to go down in flames. Jeremy might not think so, but it is going to go down in flames. Wouldn't it be great if everybody there, and most of them probably do get along, them to just get along and don't go out and try to cause chaos and controversy. Just be good neighbors and love thy neighbors. If you're a real Christian, you will love your neighbors. You won't go out to destroy others. You will be there thick and thin, like or not. That is what neighbors and good Christians do. So maybe you should take a good look at yourselves and see which you're following. You know, and I don't care if you're a Christian or not, but if you go and believe that way, you need to follow what you believe. My prayers go out to the people that are being hurt by certain people in that county. My prayers go out to them because of the next hurricane. May God be with all of you.